Rico will drive the Tony Stewart Racing number 24 in 2026. They're going to run high limit full time. And Rico is bringing his entire crew to TSR. So not the TSR 15 or 14, which sounds like was discussed, but the 24. Rico keeps his number. And that means crew chief Ricky Warner and crew guys Zach Middlebrooks and Brady Forbrook will join him. The team will operate out of the TSR shop in the Indianapolis area, and current TSR crew chief Todd Devnich will come off the road and serve as shop foreman. There is no mention of the other current TSR crew members in any of the press or stories that I saw. During an interview on today's Dale Jr. Download, Tony Stewart said, quote, "Rico gets to run the whole program," unquote. And that's not an insignificant thing. I think instead of looking at this like TSR has hired Rico, this very much feels like a merger of the two teams. Rico gets to maintain control of his sprint car program in future. Tony Stewart Racing continues to exist, and they can merge sponsors and resources to maximize their capability. It does mean a return to TSR for Ricky Warner, which I'm sure is a bit weird, but he's been such a big part of Rico's rise the last few years that you almost couldn't think about Rico going anywhere without Ricky. The stats before and after Ricky Warner are pretty staggering. The franchise situation with High Limit is a big question, but on the Dale Jr. episode, it was confirmed that TSR will lease the franchise from Rico Abreu Racing with the approval of High Limit. So Rico maintains ownership of that franchise, and that obviously means that the World of Outlaws lose a full-time team, and overall, the national scene loses a car and team. This is contraction no matter how you try and spin it. What was 2 cars is now 1. And I know some will be wondering why Rico is deciding to do this now, given that he's built himself a strong team, is on the cusp of a real shot at winning this High Limit Championship. He could certainly continue on as is and be just fine competing for wins and championships, but partnering with Tony will ease the burden, especially when it comes to resources. It won't just be Rico and his management to find sponsors and keep the team going up and down the road. TSR has existing marketing partners and infrastructure, and that will lighten the load for Rico Abreu Racing. TSR gets a younger driver at the top of his game, and Rico can breathe a little easier knowing that it's not all on him. I think that peace of mind is likely worth a lot. I did want to point out a few interesting logistical things as well. I said before that Rico will move over to the TSR shop, which they said is only about 2 miles from his current shop space. I saw somewhere that Rico has been renting Joey Saldana's shop. As for equipment, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of blending there, but I wouldn't expect Rico to suddenly start driving J&Js with either the Shaver or Kistler Power and running Fox shocks. Rico is a Schnee Lawson chassis driver. They use Speedway engines and FK shocks. And since Rico is quote-unquote running the program, I'd bet he'll stay with what he's comfortable with. Nowhere in any of the announcements was there any mention of Ford, and even though Ford Performance remains listed as a partner on the TSR website, I would be surprised if that program ever serviced again at TSR.